Hi. Hi to the four people that are in the room. If anyone else would like to come down to the management Q&A, feel free. We've got lots of space for you. Don't all rush down at once. This is our first in-person management Q&A in well over a year, so this is great. I'm sure everybody's excited, and all of you have to ask at least one question. Okay? Does anybody want to start? All right, so I'm going to have Ronnie start, and we'll go around this way. And we're missing one of the three of the directors right now. So we'll start with Ronnie, and then we'll go around. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Ronnie Licata, Dining Director. I just have three things I want to go over with you guys. The first thing is just to talk about the life of a comment card. I know we talk about it frequently, but when you fill out a comment card, it basically, I'm the first person to see it. I fill it out. I respond to the person. I put them in a packet every couple weeks. I give them to my chef. He gets to read pretty much all of your questions or comments and my responses. From Mike, they go to Michelle. Michelle looks them over, writes some notes on there if she has any comments, and then goes to Joan, the head of the dining committee, and she is talking about sharing it with the entire committee at this point. They're going to probably start rotating it around the committee so the committee can start to see all of the comments. So that's the life of a comment card. Two other things, reservations. So I've taken it upon myself the last couple days to review the reservation system because we've had a couple mistakes. Mostly last week we had a couple mistakes. Not sure if it's on my end or the residents' end, but I'm starting a new system and I'm going to put some announcements out on it. Hopefully at the end of the week, we're going to have a way for you to send us your reservations electronically if you are able to do that. And you can continue to put those reservations in via the phone call at the hostess desk or come down and talk to one of us and we'll put it in the book for you. And then the last thing is to talk about the pub. So I know this week we reopened our dining room and we did not reopen the bistro. A good portion of that is because of the participation that we were receiving. I have been putting my efforts in last week and this week into reopening the pub. So my intention with reopening the pub is to have the salad bar that we were offering at the bistro. We'll bring that back to the pub. The hot offerings, the smoothie, the breakfast sandwiches, obviously the free coffee is open. And then hopefully maybe a week after we reopen the pub, I will have a brand new coffee machine in and we will be redoing all of the espressos and lattes and all those fun coffee drinks. That's pretty much what's going on in my department for this wonderful crowd. Do you guys have any questions for me? The question I received is, what will the hours be for the pub? If I recall, it was from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., Monday through Friday. Okay. Go ahead.
I have a different question. That's the reservation system. Is there some way of knowing what days might be open, or whether you could be making something this week or next week, or whether you have to do it for 2 weeks? Because I usually get my people together first. Now, I've been told to wise up, just do a table and then fill it.
Yeah, so the question is, how do you know in advance what tables and dates and times are open? So Jason and I have had some conversations about having about a week's worth of reservations up on Connected Living. I don't know where Jason is on the update on Connected Living, but it'll kind of all tie in with that. I am taking reservations and actually putting it into an email system. This way I can print it out and have it. We can post, I don't want to post 5 days worth of reservations up. It's just going to look too cluttered. But it's all at the hostess desk. So if you want to come to the hostess desk, see what's open, and then maybe contact your friends, you can see that way. But
There's nobody there most of the time, and nobody answers the reservation phone.
They're there every day from 11:30 to 2:30. Okay. They're usually there around 11:30 to 2:30. But like I said, Jason and I are working on a system to actually have the reservations up on Connected Living that you can kind of scroll through and see what's there. And we have to figure out a real-time update on that though. So it's a little bit of a work in progress, but we are working on it. Anybody else? No? Okay, thank you.
Hello, I'm Philip Mail. I'm the director of the Health Center. I so wish I had nothing to report, but unfortunately that's not the case. As we all know, we have had a recent outburst, is the term that Michelle has used, of positive COVID cases in the Health Center. It's unfortunate, but not unplanned for. We were able to respond quickly because of the experience we've had before, unfortunately, but also the careful planning to isolate these good people on a unit and staff that unit with distinct staff that does not cross over into the other units. It is a stretch on resources, but it's obviously best practice. We are in contact daily, and that includes weekends, so that's not hyperbole, with the Department of Health and their epidemiological team, as well as their surveyors, on practices they'd like to ensure that we are doing, as well as new ideas and thoughts that they have. This is a bit of a surprise for them as it was for us, given that the folks infected had been vaccinated. I know that's common knowledge and that raises some concerns. Statistically, indeed, that is possible across the United States and the world. That has shown it's a remote statistic, but once again, Woodland Pond is cutting edge. What they say, though, is the vaccine, so as not to deter anyone or think, why did I waste my time getting one, is statistically, it most certainly prevents folks from getting a worse case of COVID than they likely would have, and to recover more quickly. Once again, we are implementing every measure at our disposal to contain this, to understand it, and to prevent it from happening again. That includes examining our infection control processes. That includes working with the Department of Health in all ways that we are permitted to do to enhance our vaccination rates, which, by the way, we'd like 100%. Our numbers of vaccinated staff are well above what most facilities have. To me, it's not, and I'm sure to you, it's not enough unless it's 100%. But relatively speaking, we've done a good job in getting the word out, and we will continue to do so. There's some new measures that are going to be implemented to that end. In the midst of our COVID precautions, we are also trying to maintain life as usual, as the best we can during a pandemic, to make sure that residents are still getting outlets for activity, for stimulation, for visits. It's complicated right now in that, as you know, we have an assisted living and a skilled living. Visitations are allowed under certain circumstances in assisted living. They are only allowed in very exclusive circumstances on skilled right now. Do pay attention to Michelle's daily updates. Those are the latest and the greatest information that we have, and any kind of changes that occur along those types of guidances. So I know there's a lot going on. I probably said a lot also, so I'm happy to address any questions or concerns right now. Yes, sir.
Just a question I had. Did I understand correctly from Michelle's address yesterday that you're not allowed to require tests, rapid tests for visitors coming in?
That is absolutely true. This probably is about 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. The question was, are we allowed to require rapid tests or any proof of testing from visitors? About 3 weeks ago, the New York State Department of Health eased that requirement. It had been the case where in order to step in the building, you were required to be rapid tested on site. We provide the resources and the tester free of charge, or to show proof of a negative test within a certain number of days. All of that has gone by the wayside. We are not allowed to require rapid testing. Having said that, the language that we use when we are scheduling our visits and when we are speaking with visitors is very strong, forceful, and appreciative of anyone to absolutely get rapid tested. And I must say, the vast majority of folks who come in do accommodate that. Nobody likes to be told what to do. Turn on any news story, and that's often the root cause of any conflict going on. However, when we say, boy, this is such a great service to us, to your loved ones, we would really appreciate if this, most people want to do that. And that includes visitors who are vaccinated, family members that have been in 100 times and don't mind testing 100 times. So the vast majority of the folks are complying with that. That said, Michelle is clarifying that in independent living, of which I'm not directly involved, it is required. That is a requirement that we are maintaining for visitation in independent living. Troublesome also in that same time when the requirement for visitor testing was eradicated, other things that opened up with that is that, and some would say this is wonderful and some would say this is troublesome. I fall somewhere in the middle. Family members are allowed not only to visit and not be required, they can take their loved one out, bring their loved one back. We cannot stop that, nor necessarily, for the record, would I want to. However, we are not allowed to put that person on precautions, which is worrisome to me. That person could go out to a movie theater, could go out to dinner, whatever, and we do provide education, we provide a sign-off sheet, we provide resources for all the ways to conduct that. We don't have a lot of people who go out, but our hands are tied in preventing that and what measures we can take upon return. 100% of the health center residents are vaccinated. So that is obviously a helpful weapon. As we know, though, it's not foolproof as we are experiencing right now. But with the changes in the regulations, with the governor and the Department of Health bowing to pressure from various groups saying, we need our freedom back, versus some groups saying, this isn't over, we need to protect people. That's the constant struggle that goes on a regulatory standpoint and what we are faced with in the front lines in real life. We have the fervent, earnest desire to have people live their lives, to see their loved ones. There's no desire on our part to get in the way of that. I think there's ways to do it safer, but we are behaving with the options that we are given. Excellent question, though. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm Tom Tango, Director of Plant Operations. A couple things. Last year, we did not treat the lawn. We didn't have any lawn treatments. It's one of the reasons the lawn looks like it does right now. There was a number of reasons we stopped that, is mostly COVID. This year, we're treating. Friday, we're putting the first application down, and that's posted at Concierge and posted on Connected Living. Also, it shows there that there's a section across the road that we do not treat, so that dogs can walk there for the period of time before it's okay. So that's posted. Also, some other announcements that people will be happy to hear. For a long time, there's been a lot of people that wanted some concrete, some stairway to go down through this parking lot out here and head out onto Danskin Way, or to come back. And you can see where people traverse through the mulch now. We have a PRF signed. That'll be happening, I would say, in about within 2 or 3 weeks. We'll be putting in a concrete staircase over there with railings. It'll be very nice and it'll be very safe. Also, a couple of weeks ago, you might have looked out your window or looked up in the air and you might have seen a drone. We had a drone fly over the entire complex, looking at all the roofs and if there were any damage, because we had a lot of big storms over the season. And on the south wing, there is a big section of shingles that just aren't there. They just wiped away. And so I know some of you have, over the past few weeks, have called us to say, oh, I have a shingle that came down. Tomorrow, we're going to start to repair that. The product is sitting out back by the loading dock now, and there'll be a crew here tomorrow with a very large lift on the side of the building. Also, while that crew is here, there's a gutter that is leaking on the north wing. It's pretty bad. It leaks and it drips right on the walkway. While that crew is here, they'll fix that too, and some other siding repairs. So that'll be done in the next few days. Also, every year we have the New Paltz building inspector come through to inspect a different section of the building. Within the next few weeks, we'll be contacting you. I'll let you know. And we have to do central wing this year. So we'll be coming around central wing to change smoke detectors and CO detectors. And we're also going to make sure that all the door closers are in place. And I know that's always a topic, but the door closers have to be in place and we have to make sure they are. All right. So that'll be in the next few weeks. The only other thing I really have right now is if any of you have family or know anybody, we have 2 positions open in maintenance. I have a maintenance tech position open and a painter position. So if anybody is aware of anybody who's looking for a job, I would encourage them to look at our website, fill out an application, and this is a great place to work. And we need to fill the position to help us help you. Any questions?
Yeah, I have 2 questions about the lawn application. Now, is that both insecticide and herbicide?
This is herbicide.
Is there any way to prevent that from being applied to the space in front of my apartment? I've been weeding myself to get the weeds out of there. I really don't, to the extent that I can object, I really don't want herbicide applied in front of my apartment.
I don't see a problem with us trying to skip that.
I would really appreciate.
Right. But like I just said, the word try. In other words, I will try, but sometimes no matter how good the communication is, the guy doing it, but I mean, I will make every effort. Yes.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
No problem.
I have a fun question.
Fun question. All right. What?
What's the future for us getting our fountain over in the central south end with Yukon? What's in store? Is our fountain coming pretty soon in with the swans?
The fountains are, we have one in. I think we have one in right now, and we'll get the next one in. Yeah, Mark is working. The best way that we could help is find me some people to fill these positions. Well, I see. I think you have some free time.
You want me to do it?
I mean, you could. We can show you how to put fountains in. Yeah.
Have you asked the residents if they'd like a job?
I mean, and in all seriousness, what it is yeah, we will get to that. It's just like every year with the tarps. We either put them up a couple of days too soon or a couple of days too late. We never time it right. And right now there's just a lot of things that we have to do. And like Philip was talking about, with COVID and everything else, our workload is phenomenal. Nolan and the guys are doing a great job prioritizing what they can. And so things are progressing. Yeah.
The only reason I'm asking is because Big Bird's been around, meaning the
Yeah. So, yeah, that helps it. Yeah. Yep. But like I say, Mark's got one up, got one working, and I'm pretty sure, it would be great if he's doing it right now. By the time you see it again, it's done, but I don't know. Oh, no, I appreciate it. That's good. Thank you. Any other questions? Even not fun ones, no? All right. Also, I also want to say I want to welcome Jason to the directors meeting. This is Jason's first directors meeting. And I hope you ask some really hard questions and stump him for a lot of things.
Hi, everyone. My name's Sarah Hull. I'm the Resident Services Director, and I just have a couple things to go over. So on the activities note, we have a calendar edition for tomorrow, Wednesday at 6:15 p.m. on 1340. There's going to be a program called Safe Banking, Identifying and Avoiding Scams. So again, this is on 1340 and it's at 6:15 p.m. So definitely check this out. There's going to be some really helpful information. And this has been offered by the Cornwall Library. I'm sorry, that's today. Today is Wednesday. So today at 6:15. So this is offered by the Cornwall Library and it's hosted by Vanessa Hill, branch manager of the Walden Savings Bank in Cornwall. So tune in for that. And then next on Thursday, tomorrow on 1340 at 1 o'clock, tune in for the Council Connections program and note the time change. It's at 1 o'clock. And this will be Earth Day related program with Yakov interviewing Rob Dunn. Yay, Rob. And the interview will be followed by a special Earth Day program also on 1340. And on the note of scams, there's a lot more scams that are happening lately that people have been calling about. So please really be aware when you answer the phone of who's calling you or who they say that they are. And just a reminder again that the IRS never calls you on the phone. Social Security never calls you on the phone. And if you get a call from your bank, just question it. And if you're in doubt, hang up the phone and get your bank statement out and call your bank yourself and find out if it's really them. But there are some really convincing ones out there, so just really, really take caution. And on the note of pets, if you have a dog, just a reminder that you need to keep your dog on a leash at all times throughout the community. If you're walking your dog outside, your dog needs to be on a leash. We cannot have dogs just running free off the leash. And if you're having a time period where it's difficult for you to walk your dog, if you're not feeling well or anything like that, feel free to contact me or contact the concierge and we'll put you in touch with a resident or a dog walking service that can help you out for a little bit. And let's see what else. I think that was it for me. Any questions? Okay, that was easy. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Scatoro, the Director of Marketing. Just a few updates on our end. I know you've seen quite a few new people move in already this year. We currently also have another 8 new residents coming in within the next 4 to 6 weeks or so here. Mix of couples, mix of singles, and then a few more, in the pipeline that'll be coming in once their apartments are renovated here. We also still have some vacancies. A few Willow apartments, which is the 1-bedroom with den and 2 full bathrooms. And then we have a couple of Cedars, which is the 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. So if you have any friends or know of anyone that's interested or thinking about it, definitely send them our way. We are doing in-person tours as well as virtual options if they choose to do so. And of course, we are rapid testing those people that do come into the building, so they're coming in safely. And then our website is still under construction. We're going to have a brand new website up and running, hopefully sometime in May, before the end of May is the plan here. So that's underway as well. And that is all I have right now. Does anyone have any questions for me? No? All right. Well, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Robert Dunn, the Director of Environmental Services. Just recently, we picked up our housekeeping schedule this past week, so I know some of you have called. We kind of pick up the schedule, not exactly where it left off because of how massive the schedule is. So some of you, if you got missed on that week where we paused it, you guys should be next week on your cleaning services. So we should get back to you shortly. If any of you are in that category and you need a pressing issue, then, give us a call and we'll try and make arrangements ahead of time. All right. I'm sorry for the delay, but, sometimes we need to do that for everybody. Okay. This time of year, I'm getting a lot of reports of, pests on the porch. Please report them to Concierge, immediately. If we're not around, you can do that, anytime the Concierge is at the front desk. You can call us if it's, a severe issue. I can call pest control right away and get them in here quickly. They will actually be here tomorrow. A lot of times, I'll get the call after pest control leaves. So it's always good, to call that front desk because they'll put it in the book at the front desk. So this way pest control will see what the issue is when they get here. Okay. Another issue too, a few residents have brought to me, and I don't know, Ronnie, the to-go containers, are we using paper ones at all still or no? Okay. Yeah. So the salad boxes, some residents are throwing them in the recycle container, which it shouldn't be. Those would go into the regular trash. Anything that holds food or absorbs food needs to go into the regular trash, not the recycling container. So, but I do appreciate the residents reaching out and saying, hey, this isn't working or this isn't being done right. I don't always know who's doing it. Our signage is all up, so we try and get, people to follow the signs as much as possible. Okay. Any questions for me on the housekeeping stuff? Go ahead. They really shouldn't. Anything that's got food in it is really supposed to just go into the trash. And that's just, how waste management would prefer it. It's supposed to be clean plastic, that we're trying to recycle. Yeah, no, I understand. But yeah, that should just go in the regular trash if it's got food in it, okay? Because you can't wash it out, you can't sanitize it, so just regular trash, the paper ones. But the plastic ones, yes, you can wash, you can recycle them and put them in the recycle bin. All right, don't let them sit in your apartment and wait for 20 to pile up and then take them out to the garbage. Clean them, get them out of the apartment, just for pest control. Okay, any other questions for me? No? All right, thank you.
The only one, but we probably should have liked it. So you're right, Michelle.
Hi, everyone, and everyone at home. So my name is Jason Irish. I'm the newly appointed Concierge and Communication Services Director. I'm very appreciative of, obviously, the residents and the staff with how they view me, and I'm looking forward to continuing to grow and learn in this new role. So thank you, and I look forward to it. So I have a few small things and then one big thing, one big piece of information. Some of the smaller things as we continue to open up and increase the offerings. Starting in May, we're going to have church service on Sundays that we'll transport to, and also shopping trips twice a month for the time being, provided we have the turnout. That'll be on obviously Sundays for church. We're going to go to St. Joseph's and the Reformed Church, and shopping to the Poughkeepsie Galleria on the first and third Friday of every month. Sign up at the concierge desk. We want to get you guys out. If you have any questions regarding that, you can ask the concierge or myself. A couple other things I want to talk about. I've talked about this once before. We have a cellular PERS at the concierge desk. This works out on the trails. We want to get people out and about, out of the building, walking around. We have one cellular PERS currently. We want to see how much use it gets. This will work down on the trails. But yes, sign it out at the concierge desk if and when you go out. With that, also, we have Mohawk Preserve passes at the concierge desk. You could sign out. Just stop at the desk, pick up a couple passes that'll give you access to any of the preserve property, not the mountain house, but the preserve to hike. I don't know if Miss Johnson, if you've used them at all, but We have them there, and we want we want you to use them. To reiterate what Sarah talked about, again, we really want residents to tune in tonight for the scam prevention. It's very important to all of us. I know you've seen emails that I send out and that others send out. We want you to, remain vigilant in every aspect, both email, phone call, any way. We want to prevent it at all costs. All right, so now I'm just going to talk about this big thing. I'm going to read the memo. Go ahead. So we're Zooming it. I have the Zoom information. I'm not the host. So I've asked them if I can get a recording. I don't think they originally planned on recording it, and I don't have access to recording it because I'm not the host. I've asked them to record it and send me the recording after so I can post it on YouTube. So I'm hoping. Again, I've asked them for that. Whether or not they get it to me is a different question. So I'm hoping. But again, it's at 6:15 tonight, and we'll see. Hopefully. Yeah, actually, I think, yeah. Okay, so this is a big one. There's going to be questions from everyone, I assume, after I read this, and I'm just going to read through the memo, and then we'll go from there. So this is to all Woodland Pond residents, excluding skilled nursing. It's for independent living, assisted living, and garden view. And I'm just going to read it. Currently, Woodland Pond residents in independent living, assisted living, and garden view have their landline service through one of two ways, either through Woodland Pond, which is through a company called Magna5, which obviously we have a relationship with. And if you have this service, you most likely have a number that starts with 845-256 and then your extension. And then your 4-digit extension. Yeah. So the second option is through a private carrier, which we only have one currently, which is Spectrum, which a number of you have as well. So in the early summer of this year, Woodland Pond, us, will be changing our telephone system and provider to a new company. Residents will no longer have that first option to have telephone service through Woodland Pond. You'll have the choice to obtain either a landline, which is through a private carrier. Again, our only option is Spectrum, or discontinue your landline and have a cell phone, which we do have a handful of residents that do that now. Residents at Woodland Pond, service option number 1 above will now have the following options for telephone service. And I'll get into that. Number 1 is get your telephone service through Spectrum. Rob, about 4, 5, 6 months ago, negotiated a contract for television service and internet service for residents throughout the community. He also negotiated a telephone service, which is directly through the resident. I know I'm not reading the memo like I said I was. I'm getting sidetracked, but so you can move your existing, I'll get back to it. You can move your existing telephone number to Spectrum, which means you can keep your telephone number, but you will have to contact them directly. This change represents an opportunity for residents to reduce their monthly costs. I don't know specifically what it'll be through Spectrum. It was $9.99, but now it's somewhere between, I want to say 10 and 15. Don't quote me, but that's where it is. When you call the number, they'll give you the price. Currently with Magna5, I think residents are paying $30. So there will be a discount. Let me get back to this. This change represents opportunity. Yes, this is because Spectrum phone service is less costly. Yeah, I've talked about that. All right, to switch to Spectrum for current or new Spectrum customers, you call the Spectrum bulk tenant customer support line. I'm not going to read the number here, but all of these memos are going to be emailed and in your cubby today. And tell them, after you call, you'll tell them that you live at Woodland Pond and wish to switch your service to Spectrum. You'll receive the required equipment, which if you don't currently have internet through Spectrum, you'll get a modem. You don't need the router. The modem is for the telephone service, which we will install free of charge. We'll help you get it set up. We'll contact Spectrum to activate the equipment, so you don't have to worry about that, but you will have to make the call. Now, moving on, the second option is separate. It's just the cell phone. So if you don't want to continue your landline through Spectrum, you can just discontinue landline service and just have a cell phone through any provider, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, and we as Woodland Pond will transport right in town here in New Paltz. There's AT&T and Verizon that we can transport you to and help you coordinate setting up the phone. The last part here, you will be billed directly from Spectrum, which is different than your television and your internet service, which is billed through Woodland Pond at $40 a piece. The phone service will be billed directly to the resident, not from Woodland Pond, which if you have Magna 5 now, which it's currently being done. We presently do not have a date, but are targeting sometime in July for this changeover to take place. And again, I know everyone's going to have questions, and we will have answers soon, but we don't have all the answers yet. And it does say here, please contact Concierge if you have any questions. If you do contact Concierge, assume that they do not have all the answers, but we will have them shortly. So that's it for that. Questions on that? No. Yeah, so Vivian's question was, what was done before with Rob, I guess with internet and television, nothing, that's not changing. That's staying the same. This is only dealing with telephone, nothing with cable, nothing with internet. If you currently have Spectrum telephone, do nothing. Yeah, don't do nothing. I know, a few of you already do, but those of you that have Woodland Pond phone service with the 845-256 and your extension, that's going away. So you'll have to make a choice. And no, there will be no more extensions. You won't be able to dial 0 for Concierge. You won't be able to dial the dining room at 5963. You'll have to dial the full number, 256, and then whatever extension you want to dial. Philip, question?
Yeah, I don't want to take up their time.
Okay. Any other questions? And I'll say this, as I said the last time I spoke, we want you to ask questions. We want you to go to Concierge. If you ever have any issues, do not hesitate to ask. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. So thank you.
I just questions for Jason.
I'll just wipe this down. I don't really have much, but I'll wipe it anyway. Okay, so thank you all very much for your information. It's great to see everybody in person. One thing that I just wanted to piggyback off of that Philip had said was, we do have, you all know that we've got, the positive cases on campus right now. Right now, all of the residents that had tested positive remain in the same condition that they were in yesterday. We have 2 that have mild COVID symptoms and 1 that has, more advanced COVID symptoms. She was quite deteriorated before this happened, but I just wanted to provide you an update on that. Tomorrow is scheduled testing again for just about every resident of the whole health center is scheduled to be tested again tomorrow for residents. So we test periodically. That's routine testing. When we have cases like this on campus, we have to test more frequently. So I looked at the schedule this morning. It's really every few days at this point. So we will test everybody again tomorrow. And if everybody could please send their good intentions that none of those, result in, none of the negatives that we currently have result in a positive, we could definitely use those good vibes. We have continued to do significant staff testing. I think you all know that we test all of our staff that works in independent living at least once a week. Everyone that works in the health center, which is in direct care, has to get tested at least twice per week, as long as they're on a full-time schedule. So there's been lots of testing going on. So we're continuing that. We've done a significant amount of re-education this week for staff, and last week reminding people that, yes, we know that everyone has COVID fatigue, but our vigilance has to be strong. Our infection control protocols have to be exactly as they've been right from the start. Everyone is expected to be, following all of the PPE, the protective, personal protective equipment protocols. We have offered to staff, if they wish for additional PPE at any time or additional training, all they have to do is reach out to us. So we're really, trying to, as Philip said, make sure that this is whatever, started last week is contained, and just double down on making sure that, this doesn't happen again. We are expecting the epidemiologists. We have a team of epidemiologists that we've been working with at the state since last spring. We're actually expecting them to do a survey of the skilled nursing environment tomorrow, which is where all of the currently positive residents, with the exception of one, are located. And certainly any recommendations that they have, as always, we will certainly follow. If we have any updates to numbers or anything like that, I will let you know. Any questions on any of that? Okay. I think that you're all aware that we are, just continuing to look at every opportunity that we have to make sure that we keep this virus at bay. Just a couple of non-COVID related things. First and foremost, I just want to remind everyone that you have been great in getting us information about where you think work orders are needed, and I would ask that you keep that up. This kind of crosses all departments. So like if you see something related to the dining room or to, outdoors or one of Tom's areas, or if you're, over in front of the health center or whatever, we need your eyes and ears because we can't be everywhere at once. So if you see anything on campus at all that you think could use a fix, a repair, it doesn't look right, please help us. Because that's how we're going to make sure that we keep the environment safe and as best of condition as we possibly can. So thank you very much for putting work orders in. You can do that by contacting the concierge. That's very helpful for all of us. Oh, okay. Okay. The emergency broadcast is going on. That's interesting. I didn't know that they did that on channel 1340. Okay. Oh, it might be about the weather. Okay. Well, it's the one that goes on the television screen right now. So, when it makes that loud beeping sound and then the weather scroll goes across your television screen like an alert, that's happening right now. So nobody can hear me talking, the people on 1340. So I think we should just end the meeting, really. Right? You guys can go. I'll do a tap dance before we go. Yeah, you can go. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. Well, Marlene, we started at 1:30. That's okay. You're welcome to come anytime.